Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. We got Coach Johnson down at the end of the table, Larry Hovden here, and we're sitting on Matt's side. I guess it is right on the mat here in the wrestling room. Mm-hmm. So that's fun to see. All the guys that were working hard tonight getting ready for that state tournament. And they're keeping that tradition going to that trophy case behind us. There's a lot of good stuff up there. If you ever want to see anything about wrestling, it'll be behind me right up there. But first, we should talk about our sponsor, the Flemke Agency. Coach?
Trusted, local, committed. So, Mr. Ben Flemke of the Flemke Agency, an independent insurance agent. So he's able to do the shopping for you to get the best deal, best quality, everything that fits your financial goals.
Well, I think that's great because when you can go from one place to the other just to get the great price, you can't beat that. It's like shopping at store to store. So
exactly.
All right, let's get right into it. It's, the OHS Weekly Recap. Friday were individual sections. And what happened, Coach?
Yeah, so we had 5 individual champions. So we had Lane Karsten at 113. We had Cael Robb at 132. 4 individual boy section champions, and then 1 girl. Mm-hmm. Kanin Hable took second at 145. Landen Johnson took first at 160. Jacob Reinardy took first at 170, and then Andrew Nirk took second at 195. And they all had great days. You know, Lane Karsten and Cael Robb. Actually, all the champions took care of business. Mm-hmm. You know, there were some close matches in the finals, but none that you would say felt like they were in jeopardy. So they were in the driver's seat the whole way.
Yep.
And then when it came to Kanin Hable, got down big in the first period, worked back, and then with about 35 seconds left, double overhooks, hits an inside trip a la Vincenzo Joseph on Imar back in like 2015, takes him to his back. Man, that kid was pinned. He was pinned for at least the first couple of seconds. Fought off his back, and it was enough for the Faribault kid to hold on for the section championship. So just made him all the hungrier for state. And, he's always a big move kid. He's a Greco guy, loves to lock up that way. So that, he keeps it exciting. We'd like to kind of keep matches a little closer, a little bit more solid, and have him flash more like his low singles and stuff. But and then we actually had also 2 more guys that were in the true second match that fell just short. So freshman Blake Fitcher at 182 finally got a win over Winkles of Austin in the last 10 seconds of the match, gets the reversal, hangs on in a flurry.
Hangs on for dear life.
Yep. Scrambling, kind of a crab ride half to hold on. Gets the win, and then lost a close true second match. But at the same time, he can't feel disappointed about that. He had a great season, a freshman wrestling that weight. And then Mason Krampitz, so not one of our like wrestling year-round guys, came back. I think this is his first year in a couple where he came out. And then, he as well, we had predicted that Pagel from Northfield, he had bounced between 220 and heavyweight. We put Krampitz at heavyweight, thinking that that's where he'd have a better shot at state. Well, Pagel from Northfield bumped up to heavyweight. Yep. So kind of, it didn't completely close the door, but Krampitz went out on a high note, had a great day, and a great ending to his season and career. So
one guy, if we forgot, Andrew Nirk at 195.
Oh, yeah, Nirk. So, Nirk went out, upset the number 2 seed.
That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think he got the pin in that one. And then, had a tough finals match. Makula's a beast at 195 from Northfield. But then came out, not everybody can do this after losing in the section finals, came out and established his spot in a true second match and got the pin against the Century kid. Boy. So that's a long day.
So Andrew was seeded what, 4 or 3?
He was 3.
3.
Yep.
He knocks off the number 2 guy. That's probably one of the biggest matches of his life.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
awesome.
not counting the finals, of course. Up to that point,
right?
That was a big match there.
Yeah,
and then 5th place.
Yeah, well, so some more third place guys. Donoven Sorenson at 106. lost in a heartbreaker in the semis to Staub from Northfield. I'll just say questionable call that kind of decided the match. But at the same time, I mean, we can't let refs get into the match. We got to stay aggressive and stay on the offense and not leave it up to them. So finished strong, but all the hungrier for next season. At 120, Trey Hiatt had a barn burner against Williams from Northfield that he's had back and forth matches with.
And he's only an 8th grader.
Only an 8th grader at 120, and that's what he weighs is 120. So it's not like he's cutting down or anything either. He's wrestling guys that are getting down to their competition weight, and he's just going out and battling as an 8th grader. And gets a throw to the kid's back in the last 10 seconds, doesn't get the back points, and the kid gets a reversal for the win. But, yeah, everyone, first through third ended in high spirits, and actually in the 5th place matches too. We had Drake Gronli and Michael Bobo, 2 seniors who broke through into the lineup this year. They've been behind some, studs their whole career and everything.
Yep.
And to go out and get 5th place to end on pins, I think they both ended on pins for 5th. That leaves a good taste in your mouth, like to go out like that.
Yeah, those odd numbers, 1st, 3rd, or 5th, they always end on a win.
Yep, we won every match in the 3rd and 5th place. So then Jack Sorenson, same thing. He went out against an absolute bodybuilder, and this is a 9th grader who had wrestled as low as 126, bumping up to 152 for sections, and getting the pin for 5th place. Like, just, the versatility, the tenacity. Such a hard worker. It was great to see. And then Lucas Smith at 220, a freshman wrestling 220, going out. Also taking 5th place and looking tough, looking studly. We're just really excited for the youth that we have in the room, too. So it was just kind of an overall great day. It was good.
Good job. How about this week? What do we got going now?
Well, we have state individual Friday, Saturday. We have Mr. Andrew Nirk, 195, flexing in the background there. So we're getting some big time. We're calling it Upset City. Friday, Saturday, Upset City. So
Cool.
We're going in with all 8 wrestlers. So the 6 we just talked about. Then Ryan Grunwald, the section champion at 114 for the girls.
She's on fire.
On fire. Isabel Townley took 2nd at 107. She punched her ticket too. Everybody's ready. All 8 of these kids are absolutely fired up. They're in amazing shape. They're peaking at the right time. Tons of confidence. So we're excited for that.
That's huge words right there. Peaking at the right time, Coach.
Exactly.
Doing a good job. All right. We'll be right back after this break. All right. Welcome back to the show here at the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. Coach Johnson running the show here. This is Larry Hovden sitting at Matt's side. And we're going to go talk about some of the youth now, the OWA Youth Recap.
They had a big weekend, both days, Saturday, Sunday. So Saturday started off in the Waseca individual tournament. How'd that go?
Yeah, I got first place, Levi Oeltjenbruns and Paxton Yule. That name's coming in there. Now we got second place, Ezra Yule. Third place, Lucas Yule and Jacob Knutson. Fourth place, Griffon Jordahl and Collin Jordahl.
And Rowen Eustice on the back there, too.
Oh,
yep.
Sorry, missed that one.
Okay. Yep. And then also Saturday over in Prescott, Wisconsin, took a load of kids over there, and the team took first place. It was an individual tournament, but scored with team points. First place, we have, and I tried to do these in alphabetical order, but then I'm looking at the top, and I messed up the first 2 right off the bat. So Huxley Blum, Tucker Anderson, these are all first place. Max Delhanty, Lucas Wallace, Reeve Franko, Easton Busho, Kaden Keller, Sawyer Franko, Easton Johnston. Then we have the 4 Lindquists all took first. Kaysen, Callan, Colton, and Caden. And then Jackson Spielman also took first.
And second place, we had Leighton Wendling, Finn Bilbrath, and Kayla Pastica.
And then for third, Owen Sorenson and Nolan Partridge.
And then on Saturday, they were at Anoka Regional Qualifier.
Yeah, and our 7th grader, Jacob Wilson, took third, punching his ticket for state.
Sunday, they had the Waseca Dual Tournament. The team took first again.
Yep, defeating Pine Island It looks like 2 different St. James teams, Waseca, Zambroda Mazeppa, and Stillwater. Those are good names to beat right there.
They are huge.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're turning the corner. We have state for folk style this upcoming month of March, and then we switch gears in April to freestyle Greco.
Yeah,
So,
that's always a fun time of year.
yeah. Awesome.
All right. Welcome back to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. We got Coach Johnson down at that end, Larry Hovden at this end, and our first guest here is Gabe Hovden.
Gabe Hovden. Now, was that any relation?
I'd say so. Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the 4 boys that were out for wrestling,
Yep.
and he was a '96 team. Door openers, I think they called it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you remembered that.
Yeah. How about that?
Made famous the Gator Grip.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's a good point to bring up. I'll let you tell how to do it, but if you're a wrestler and you do a move really well, it gets named after you. I can remember a lot of different, the Schubert dump and the Gator Grip. Maybe you can tell people
The
how you got
Byro
that.
roll.
The Byro roll.
Yeah.
That's an old one there.
Yeah.
Stitzy roll, he had one.
Yeah, the Stitzy roll.
Yeah. Matt
Nice.
Stitz. So how'd you do that Gator Grip?
It was just basically a chicken wing and then around to the waist, and that was in the time where you could figure 4 the head. So you just run the head and figure 4 it. I started doing that my freshman year over in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, and Coach Becker, Jeff Becker, was the one that started naming it.
Yep.
And that's where the name Gator came from. They spelt my name completely wrong on the bracket, and they spelt my name Gade Howell, and I was called to the mat. They were calling Gade Howell, and I just sitting there, no idea. And then all of a sudden, I went out to the brackets and missed my match, and went out to the brackets. I'm looking for my name, and I wasn't on there, but Gade Howell from Owatonna was.
Gade Howell.
Yeah, so that's where that all came from.
And Scott Davis called you Gator.
Yep,
That's how you got that word Gator, and then the Gator Grip followed that.
yep.
So good.
Nice. So what year graduated again?
96.
96. Now, why do they deem what was significant about the 96 team?
96, we had, 7 seniors. The Power Alley, the upper weights. We were the first team since Dick Black era that made it to state as a team.
Nice.
Where got through Albert Lee and got through Faribault for the first time. So
Yeah.
and Apple Valley and Simley weren't in our region.
Yep, they moved. Yeah.
So
We always had those tough teams. Always one rank ahead of us. They were always one. We were number 2 in the state many years against Apple Valley and Faribault and Albert Lee too.
and Simley.
And
And
Simley,
Simley,
yeah.
yes,
Yep.
they were in there all too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that we were the first class to make it. But it also helped with the numbers we had. I mean, to have 7 seniors and all 6 out of the 7 were wrestling on varsity. So
Yeah.
different weights.
Right.
Because if we were all the same weight, it wouldn't have happened.
No. Yeah. Exactly. So, Hovden, because of your father and you boys are Owatonna royalty.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Owatonna wrestling royalty. But yeah, what about? So I know you guys spend countless hours, and you've been a coach in the program. Now going back, on and off for like 15 years.
Oh,
Or more than that?
More than that.
More than 15?
Yeah, I started coaching right after college. Was following the steps of Bob Phillips and
Okay,
Dave Nelson in the Freestyle Greco program.
That's right, yeah.
I did that for 10 years, on and off with the junior high, jumping in with the youth when they needed help. And then Bob retired and Dave retired on me and left me with the freestyle program. So I took that over for 7 more years, and then Paris started softball, and then that was
Yeah.
the end of me coaching wrestling. So jumped over to softball.
You were at the junior high for a few years too.
Yep.
I remember one match we had all 4 boys in the same gym coaching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Gabe and Josh and Adam were all coaching with me that year.
Oh, wow.
And we set up a match against Jake's team. He was going to college in Riverland, and he was coaching at what town was it?
River Falls.
Was it River Falls?
Yep.
And So I told him I'll bring a bus over. Just how about a match? He said okay. So all 4 of my boys were in the gym. That's the only time it ever happened.
Yeah.
Where they all were
Gosh.
coaching. So I was pretty proud of that night.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, what about, and this can be any age of wrestling, what would you say like your coolest Owatonna wrestling moment was?
Ooh.
If you can just whittle it down to one.
Whittle it down to one would be my freshman year, when I want to say it was either Faribault. I can't remember the actual team because I was at 103 pounds, and we both just stood, and the other team wouldn't come running in underneath the black light or underneath the one light, and I think it was Faribault. We just stood there, and normally the visiting team comes out first. Well, they
Yep.
wouldn't come out, and neither would we. And the bleachers were full from sitting on the floor all the way up. And I remember I was the first one out, and I was very, very nervous. It was first varsity mat underneath the lights. And, and then I had Ray Leeper, the heavyweight that year, kind of just walk up in front. And then after Faribault came out, I'm still standing there waiting for the okay to go. And Ray Leeper came up and just kind of just pushed me and said, go. And I'm like, all right, I'm out. And off I went.
Came out there running 100 miles an hour too.
Right.
Yep. I mean, that's one of my good memories. And then other ones are just traveling and stuff. I'm sure we could get into that later, but no, just traveling with the team and having that group of all 7 of us seniors on the team was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember so many of those teams where, I was probably on the floor behind the Faribault bench in that meet you were talking about. I always just remembered Bauer pacing back and forth, and he was close enough for me to hear him grunt, basically. It was just such a cool environment to have.
Yeah.
And when they say kids are on the floor, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Kids were down there. They had no seats left, and they set up a TV monitor down in the cafeteria and told people to go down there. Nobody would leave that gym.
Yeah. And we got a little, it was nice this year on Alumni Night to kind of get a little taste of that back against Albert Lee, where it was, our side was almost packed by JV.
Yes.
Like, that was cool too.
I was glad to see that a lot of the alumni came back, and more are starting to come around. So
And it showed a lot of respect for you, Coach Johnson. They want to see what you did, what you could do.
Yeah, well, next time we're walking out with a dub. Yeah, that's the deal.
That's good.
That's
Good.
the deal.
That's what
Yeah.
we need.
Yeah. No, so talking about like nostalgia, great memories and everything, do you have a safe for podcast funny memory that you could tell?
Yes. I'll just say it has to do with me, Adam Bohr, Nate Abrahams,
But it's a big
and
names.
Jeremy Brussel. And I don't know if there was one more in our room. Coach Davis, we were in Rice Lake, Wisconsin.
No, you only had 4 in a room.
No, I think there was 5 in ours because we were all cutting except for Nate. So,
yes, okay.
so they shoved us all in one room.
Yeah, we did.
And so that night we went to this very cheap hotel, and to get in your room, you were outside in the elements by Superior, Wisconsin area.
Oh, sure.
Something. I mean, I don't know if it was Superior or Rice Lake where we were, but we went in a room and it was so dang hot, and Brussels like, oh, this is going to be good. We can sweat the night out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we can make weight the next day. And we're sitting in a room, and, it's bedtime. We're going to sleep. I'm trying to sleep by the heater to lose more weight because I had to get down to 3 again. And we woke up the next morning, and Adam got so hot, he went and turned the air conditioning on. Our heater was now an air conditioner, but it was just one solid chunk of ice.
Oh, my God.
And we go to tell Coach Davis that I think we just wrecked the heater in the room, and he's like, yeah, let's just get out of here. Just don't say nothing. Just, leave it alone. Let's get out of here, because we tried turning it back to hot, and it just started smoking.
Oh,
so
God.
we're like,
That's
yeah,
all.
we're out. So we got out of there, and then that's when we were riding with Becker in vans, and we were, typically late when Coach Davis drove. I mean, he likes a lead foot, so he makes sure he makes it right on time.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up to the school, and Coach Becker was following Davis, and all of a sudden we're speeding. A cop whips around, Coach Davis says he can't get another speeding ticket. He's taking the sidewalk, like the main sidewalk coming down to the high school. He thought it was a road to get away from the cop. And here's us with Becker getting pulled over by the cop in front of the school on our way to a wrestling tournament.
Yikes.
So there's good times in there.
Yeah, I was in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
David
guy.
slams the door and he, boom, I'm in the school. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Don't
God.
tell him who was driving.
So, I mean, there's a lot more memories, too.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. That was
No,
fun.
that's good. That's good.
That was fun.
Well, yeah, you're definitely one of the guys that I remember growing up contributing back to the program immediately. Once you brought up freestyle, I remember you here running freestyle practices
Yep.
and everything, but also one of the guys that's always taking after your dad's footsteps as far as being the caravan, taking whatever kid to whatever tournament and being such a great proprietor of the sport. And we appreciate that. That's how this program stays strong,
Yeah.
are people like you. And, also please don't ever jump rope again.
Yeah. That's another good, that's a new memory there.
Yeah, running captain's practice
Yeah,
for
so,
me.
I was taking care of captain's practice. I wrestled with them all for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Wrestling with them all, and Schubert couldn't wrestle because of his wrist, so he was jumping rope the whole time. So I grabbed a rope and thought I'd just jump rope with him, and I went down like a ton of bricks. Sprained my ankle pretty bad, and just jumping rope. But yet I can wrestle with Landen and Nirk and all them guys, and everything was just fine. But I guess
How old are you getting now?
I'm 28, 29.
Yeah, that seems about
Sure
right.
he is.
Seems about right. Yeah, don't do the math. Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed doing the captain's practice. It was good, and I think the kids enjoyed it. I mean, the first few sprints they make them do, they didn't enjoy it. But,
Yeah.
but
No, it definitely showed. We were not behind. We were on track as soon as we kind of hit the ground running at the beginning of the season. So I appreciate that.
yes. Well, no, I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Well, thank
But
you.
before we go, I got to say one thing. Okay, and I was told not to by the guy that was on here last week. I can't
Sure.
remember his name. I think it was Lane Karsten.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about hunting and how
Yeah.
he really enjoys duck hunting, and he already told me tonight not to say anything, but I took him and my daughter Paris out to a little hidden pond we have to go duck hunting, and I put them off to the north side of the pond. We're walking up through the cornfield, and I got a little closer, and I looked at both of them and said, "Hey, there's 5 ducks right on the edge. Just walk up. They're gonna get up and shoot them." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." Paris is like, "Okay." So I said, "Start walking," and I'm not shooting. I want them to shoot the ducks.
Yeah.
I seen 5. I'd swear about 25 got up, and all I could hear was shooting, and nothing landed. Nothing falling out of the sky. And I'm like, and so I looked
come
at them
on,
both, and I'm
Karsten.
like, "You two, Lane, especially you."
Yeah.
I mean, and he didn't get them. So then we got set up, and we're sitting down there, and them two are chit chatting, and I'm the only one watching for ducks coming in over the woods to drop in, and all of a sudden I just looked, and I'm like, "Hey guys, here comes one, completely cupped up, ready, just prime, perfect shot for both of them."
Yeah.
I look over at them, and here they are taking selfies. So Lane,
Lane.
Lane.
Come on, man.
Taking a selfie instead of hunting. huh?
Yep, he had, Paris was standing there, and he's like, "Well, Paris put her phone in my face." I go, "Well, you were still smiling."
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yep.
but
Countless.
no, I go hunting with Lane a lot,
Sure.
with the Karsten. So, no, we do. I mean, it's good times.
Yeah. No. That's awesome.
So I had to get that story out.
Good.
Yes.
At least, when we asked him who was a better shooter, him or his dad, he was truthful and said
Yeah.
his dad. So if he would have said he was and then had a story like that.
that would have been
yeah.
good.
Right, yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everything you do. Now that Paris is a senior and graduating.
Yeah.
I know you texted me, is this your way of getting me to coach? I am putting you on the spot right now. I have a contract here.
Yeah,
This is
I
a 25-year. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate it. Any and all help that a Hovden can give. And yeah,
Well,
so love to have
I'm
you
going to
back.
be around, so you never know.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yep.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. Coach Johnson down at that end. This is Larry Hovden at this end. And Coach, who do we got here?
Well, we have a future 220-pounder, Caitlyn Schubert. Caitlyn Schubert, student manager, probably the most well-organized young lady I've ever met in my life.
Oh, she's a junior. You got another year.
Yeah.
Yep, another year. Master recruiter. I think we got one midway through.
Yeah.
One of the Underwoods.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're hoping so.
So yeah, I'm always confident in sending something your way that it's going to get done, that it's going to get taken care of, and it makes my job all the easier. So I appreciate that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what our job is. So.
Right. Now Schubert, that's a last name that we're familiar with.
Yep.
Give us a little rundown of the wrestling royalty in your family. Where
So
your
Grandpa
family trained?
Larry wrestled, so Larry Schubert, and then Jeremy was a state champ. I don't know what year that was.
Now, is he your uncle? You got to say what.
Yeah, he was my uncle. Sorry, Jeremy. He was a state champ. I want to say
95?
Yeah,
94,
around
95?
around that time.
He had to beat Bauer for that match. Remember, we were talking about Bauer a little earlier. Yep. That was a big match.
Yeah, and
Had
then
sections.
Okay, and then Dad wrestled. He was on the team that won in '98, I
Jason
believe.
Schubert.
Jason,
yeah.
yep.
A 189-pounder that year.
And then Ethan, he had his first varsity debut for sections, team sections, and he was your guys' 132-pounder.
Freshman,
So, yep,
yeah.
Ethan Schubert, he's a freshman, and he's my brother. So we've had a couple on the team here. So
Yeah. And how long have you been managing wrestling?
7th grade year. So
7th grade.
So like 5 years. I think.
Doing the math.
Yeah, gotta do the math. Just takes a second.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
so about
That's
5
good.
years, and then I've been around it ever since Ethan started wrestling. So pretty much just grown up in the sport or around the sport. Kind of was dragged along to all the tournaments, and then kind of fell in love with the sport too with Ethan, just like in the background, like the family aspect of it. And I was at Rumble on the Red every year with all the boys, and just kind of grew up with all of them, and just kind of became a sport that I stuck with too. But
Oh, that's quite a history.
yeah.
Yeah.
To be around that many years and still love it. That's great.
There's a lot of memories, and a lot of like just my childhood was with Ethan at wrestling tournaments and just with the family on like road trips to different tournaments around the area. And
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, and this year, adding to your repertoire, you have, you and Maddie Hall basically run this podcast, get it together every week.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. We got to call upon you for an audible today as we had a youth wrestler get a little stage fright before coming on here. So
Yeah,
I appreciate you picking up the slack there.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. So no, it's so awesome to have that type of enthusiasm. I think we had 9 in all student managers
Yes.
this
Yep.
year, which is crazy. Like when I saw that roster, I was like, okay, I'll shoot out emails to see who's on. All of you replied within like an hour. Like, yep, I'll do it this year. I'll do it this year. So I was just like, oh God.
Yeah, and everyone who was out this year, we had 10 managers last year, and we've just had a higher number of managers the last how many years, and everyone's very like up for it. Like they want to be managing. And
Yeah, and you guys are all good at it, like running the scorebook, doing the video, getting it ready for Coach Woodridge to put it on Huddle and everything like that. It's really well done. It's a well-oiled machine that you guys run, and couldn't do it without you.
And they got to go to all the different tournaments.
Yeah.
At the levels, the freshman level, the JV level,
ninth grade, and
9th grade.
some of us started in middle school, so we started at those. And
Nice.
Are all the girls spread out? And are you all the same age?
we had 4 seniors this year and 5 juniors.
Okay.
So, in the past years, we've had like freshmen and sophomores and some juniors and seniors. So in the past years, we normally have more of a different grades, but this year it's just stuck to the older grades. So next year we're going to do some recruiting, get some younger girls out here to kind of
Definitely.
take over. Yeah.
Tell Ellen Yule to get them junior high kids ready.
Yep, exactly. I think Chloe Nelson was one this year. Hopefully she'll come out. Sydney Fosness is in high school, and she was one when she was in middle school, and then possibly like an Underwood. And
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, you got that lined right up.
Yeah, we're hoping that those line up. If not, we'll reach out to some other people that might be interested.
Yeah, I can't say it enough. Like, she's
Miss
impressive.
Professional.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is just.
But
On the
Caitlyn
ball.
Schubert isn't all business. Let's talk about maybe funniest moment or something like that we can tell on the podcast.
I think me and Maddie, we've been talking about this one when we were leaving for the clash. It was the night we were against Winona here at home, and we were just JV, and they had all forfeits for varsity. We came up to you, we talked about your blazer, but you corrected us. It's your sports coat.
Sport coat, yeah.
Your sport coat. So me
Yep.
and Maddie are thinking of maybe matching you at the banquet.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you know what? Mockery is the best form of flattery, so I'll take that. I'll take that. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and, speaking of, heading to the Clash, I will say, talk about the spread you had of food, like the absolute buffet. We get there, and I know I was just absolutely famished. Like, we left right from the high school, and yeah, we had some treats and stuff like that here. But we got there, I was dying, and then you're like, Coach Johnson, check out our room. Please describe everything you had out, or a lot of it.
Well, we already have a list for tomorrow. Like, I'm going after this podcast to go get snacks for this
State?
weekend. Yes.
Yep.
So we had, Brenda's Puppy Chow. That will be at State, debuting again. We've had that all season. And then we had some donut holes. We always have our Gordettos, some licorice. There's always been different things of candy, but we always have a little bit of variety with our sweets and our salties. But
Well, and of course, it was on brand for you. It was extremely well organized, like an actual senior graduation party.
We had, the
it was
desk.
just perfectly spread out.
yeah, we had the desk in the hotel room, and it was just all of the snacks that I had brought, and we had it all laid out. And then you guys had your cups. You and Sakura and Meager would come in every morning and every night, and you guys would fill your cups up, and then they'd go do room checks with their little cups of snacks.
There
Yep,
go.
you got to do it. You got to fuel up when you're yelling at kids to get back in
Yes,
their rooms.
yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Or the donut holes every morning. They would come in
Yes.
our room, tell everyone to go downstairs, and they'd take our donut holes.
I mean, you were offering the donut holes.
Well, that's
It's
true.
not-
That
yeah.
is true. We'd be like,
Okay.
you want the donut rolls?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
We're getting those, or I was getting those because Ryan Grunwald, she requested donut holes.
Oh yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know everybody's kind of lining up their own snacks for post weigh-in. That last one on Saturday morning.
Yes.
So yeah.
They all have a list that they've already informed me of what I need to go get. So Lane has requested Gushers, and
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Gushers
Yes.
are still a thing?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
and
Okay.
everyone's requested the puppy chow. That's just
Yeah, Brenda's
Who makes that?
my mom. She's made it all season, pretty much every meet that I go to. So pretty much every single meet of the season, there's been puppy chow at. The
Cool.
boys will have it after weigh-ins. and
It's the perfect ratio of peanut butter to the powdered sugar, where it's not too either way. It's an awesome balance. Love
Yeah.
that stuff. So
yeah, so she's making it for State. I have to get the stuff, and she'll make it tonight. So
yeah.
we'll have puppy
That's
chow
awesome.
at State. So
Yes. Thank you, Brenda. Awesome. Well, Caitlyn, thank you so much for everything you do and continue to do, like you stepping in tonight too.
Yeah.
And you said before we got on this that you're nervous, and I was fairly confident you were going to be fine. And sure enough, you're a natural. So,
I'm good. I like to talk.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and look forward to the buffet that you're going to put out.
Yeah.
Well, talking about the state
Oh, yeah.
tournament, we got a shirt. The Owatonna wrestling shirt. It says Owatonna Wrestling. We are the authority. On the front with the husky head. And on the back, they got the coaches. Yep, coaches 222, state bound. And the wrestlers that qualified.
Yep.
So it's a pretty good shirt. You can see Andrew and Nirk's parents. Can't remember their first names, but
Tom and Karen.
Tom and Karen Nirk, yes, they are in charge of selling shirts. So if you give them guys a call, I'm sure they could find you one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And we just have
Thanks so
to
much.
thank our sponsor, the Flemke Agency. And again, they're trusted, local, and committed. That is in parentheses. That's a big important thing. An independent insurance agency offering home, auto, business, life, and health insurance. And they shop around to get
Yep.
the best price.
Full service agency.
They don't have to go with all one company. They can do one company here and one company there. I think that's great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ben Flemke.
All right, that wraps it up here for the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Go Huskies.